You're 50 now. Perhaps you're 60, 40, whatever. Sex drives down, you're looking a little soft. It's it for you. It's time to settle in. Wait for you to retire and lean back and relax. This is the last thing you should do. None of this relax. You're getting older, you need to go even harder. I personally think that testosterone, it isn't cheating. Coach Greg, in today's video, it's about testosterone and whether or not it's cheating and should you be on it. First things first, you're thinking testosterone is cheating. Why do you think this? Why do you think that testosterone is cheating? Remember, we're not talking about if you're using it to win a sport in the Olympics. We're not talking about that. Why do you think that it's cheating? Why do you think that you shouldn't be using it? Why are you judging people that do? Do I think that teenagers, guys in their 20s should be using steroids, TRT, and so on? I do not. But what about when you're getting past the age of 35? You're a little bit older, or heaven forbid, you went to Algorex and your testosterone levels are lower than last time. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be eating right, going to bed on time, and doing exercise. Of course, you should be doing all these things. But if you're trying to life max, and by that I mean living the best quality and quantity of life, I personally think that testosterone, it isn't cheating. Don't just take my word for it. Some of you are thinking, oh, Coach Greg is just saying this because he's on TRT. What about Dorian Yates?
Depression, arthritis, diabetes, heart problems. All these things can be improved by taking, testosterone replacement. It was a book that I read. It was in French at first. Now it's in English. Ageless Man. And there's a French doctor in there that's been prescribing testosterone and other androgens for decades. And it's got all the case studies of all the health problems that people had that it was basically able to fix with testosterone. But testosterone is no profit in it for drug companies. So they'd rather you take some arthritis drugs and some insulin and some antidepressants. Maybe you'd have to go to a private clinic or something. Yeah. Even your GP is going to probably frown upon it and say, no, you don't need it. There's parameters, right? Your testosterone should be between, 200 and 1,000. You want to be up near the top of the range.
And so what doctors are doing, and it's not their fault, they've been brainwashed to do this as well, is to prescribe you every medication that there is, very costly medications. Oftentimes, it's covered by your insurance. And so the pharmaceutical companies are making millions, billions, trillions of dollars. Meanwhile, if you took testosterone, probably wouldn't need half those medications. And so they're prescribing everything. Perhaps you're depressed, antidepressants, they're giving you all the different things. When if you had boosted your testosterone levels and gone to the gym, you wouldn't need them. And so how is it bad? How are some of these drugs seen as okay? It's okay, you can admit it. There's no shame in saying you need insulin or this medication or that medication. But yet TRT, you have to keep it a secret. What percentage of people do you think admit that they're taking TRT? Like if you had to look around, a random sample, and you looked around, what percentage of people do you think that you know are on TRT? Perhaps 10, maybe 20% of people are open and honest about it and share it to everyone. And so for every one person that you know there's on TRT, there's probably 10 that you don't know about. People are scared to admit it because it's been stigmatized. People feel shame and they don't want to admit it. And if you say, I'm on TRT, they're going to say, oh, you only look like that because you're on TRT. yeah, only because of the TRT. You're a cheater. And so why would they admit it? The same stigma that's happening with testosterone is helping with GLPs. Millions of people are losing weight because they're taking, for example, Ozempic, tirzepatide, or retatrutide, and they're scared to admit it to the world. Many people, they're keeping it in secret. Fitness influencers or just general population, they don't want to admit that they're on it because they don't want people to say, oh, you only lost that because of that. So what? Why do you see it as cheating? It's no different than if the doctor gave you cholesterol medications or something for your blood pressure and you're just simply on it. Would you feel like a loser when you take an antibiotic because you're sick? Of course you don't. And so it isn't any different. And so we need to destigmatize these things so that people stop feeling shame from trying to life max with their health. And of course, if you're looking for fat loss, peptides, and so on, you can go to AlgoRx. But perhaps first you can try GLP Max. Did you know that we sold this? It's an oral pill. You take it and it reduces your appetite, your cravings by approximately 28%. So you go from being an 8 out of 10 hungry, which is hard to control, to a 6. It's now manageable. And so it's much easier to lose weight than you think. Nick Trilogy on Instagram, he revealed that Dorian had stated that 90% of people miss this about TRT. TRT isn't just about muscle, it's your mental health, diabetes, depression, arthritis, heart health, and aging all depend on testosterone. Nick Trilogy also on performance-enhancing drugs, namely testosterone, peptides, and so on. How is this bad? This is not abusing steroids. That he did in his past, the same as myself. He and I were experts on the use of performance-enhancing drugs, and we know that abusing them are bad. But when you're on doctor-prescribed medications, for example, from AlgoRx, it's different. They're going over your blood work. Would you really want to be at 250 nanograms per deciliter if the range is, let's say, 250 to 1,000? Or would you not want it to be a little bit higher? And so when I did my blood work, I was prescribed testosterone. An endocrinologist did this in Canada. If you're in the United States, you have an easier way. You click the link in the description, you go to AlgoRx, you can get your blood work taken, and they can prescribe you testosterone. Or perhaps you don't need testosterone. Perhaps you're going to want enclomiphene. But why suffer in silence? Why not try to life max, to get the most out of life, to be healthy? Click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off. This I really like about what Nick had stated, and because it's true, getting drunk every weekend is just being social. People literally will drink alcohol, a class 1 carcinogen. It's literally poison, and they will talk about people on HRT. You're drinking poison. I don't care if it's 1 drink a week. You're drinking 1 shot of poison a week, and you're judging me for being on testosterone? A guy who's racing bikes 7 to 10 hours a week and lifting weights twice a week full body while eating healthy. And you're going to say I'm unhealthy while you're getting shit-faced every weekend. Are you kidding me? It's not only that. Oh yeah, you got to go out with your friends. You got to eat fast food. It's only 3-4 times a week. You're for real right now. You're promoting gluttony, fast food. And when I say you shouldn't eat fast food, it's not healthy, you get mad at me. Oh, you don't have balance. I'm not saying you can never do it, but when you do it, you know it's not healthy. And so you're going to compare your fat piece of shit, asshole, loser, lazy life of drinking alcohol every weekend and having fast food to mine using HRT, and you think that I'm better because I'm a cheater. We'll be seeing who's a cheater when you're dead at 60 and I'm living into my 90s. Blood pressure meds, SSRIs, statins at 35 is taking care of yourself. Now, to me, this goes to out the drug users, the abusers. If you're using telmisartan and all these different medications, I call it polypharmacy, to offset the damages of using abusive doses of steroids. And what are abusive doses? Anything above TRT. I don't care how low your dose is. Oh, it's just 250 milligrams of test a week. If that's more than your doctor approved, it isn't HRT. And so if you have higher cholesterol, higher blood pressure, your liver markers are off. If you need other medications to offset the damages of the medications that you're taking, my opinion, that's bad. You should not be doing it. And so when you see a guy like Mr. Mike saying, oh, I'm healthy, look at my blood pressure. Yeah, you're on blood pressure medications. Of course your blood pressure isn't high. But if you need to take those medications in order to get your blood pressure down, you are not healthy and you're most likely taking years off of your life.
All I feel is rage and frustration and anger and anxiety.
I always tell people, don't sweat the small stuff. Everything is small stuff. Unless it involves your health, everything is small stuff. If you can solve it with money, with time, with work, with effort, with diet, with discipline, with anything, as long as it's not your health, you're golden. You are in fact winning. You're not in pain. You can enjoy your life. You're a winner. I don't care if you have no money or billions of dollars. You're all winners. What Dorian Yates is trying to say is that the doctors, they don't know what they're doing. They've been trained in university for however many years to say what they've been told to say, to treat people with medicine the way they've been taught to treat people with medicine. How many hours in a doctor's life of studying in university do you think they spend teaching them on HRT? 1 hour. And you think that the doctors are just going to prescribe it? You walk in,
Hey, doc, my sex drive down a little bit. Yeah, 330 nanograms per deciliter. I don't feel like myself again. I'm getting fat. I have no energy. I'm feeling depressed. I don't feel good. Could you give me some HRT? No. But here's some Prozac. Here's some antidepressants. Here's some medication for your cholesterol. And you're healthy. Your blood work looks good. Doc, I actually talked to Coach Greg, and he went over my blood work, and he says it's horrendous. It's good. Take these pills. Doc, could I get some enclomiphene or some HRT? No, I don't do that. What are you, a bodybuilder? You want steroids?
They do this. I've seen it. If you don't want the gatekeeping, the bullshit of going to a doctor in person, remember, I'm from Canada, it's even worse, then go to Algorex. Click the link and let them take care of you. In Canada, it's so frigging bad. Guys are literally abusing steroids, like my friends. They're on Test and Tren, and they'll go to the doctor and say, Doc, I want to quit. I don't want to use Tren anymore. I'm getting older, in my 40s, 50s, and so on. And the doctor will look at them and say, I'm not prescribing that. You're already on testosterone. I'm not going to give it to you. Well, Doc, I need to come off. I've been doing it for 10 years, 20 years straight, whatever. No. Really? They've been abusing steroids for years and they're trying to stop and the doctor won't help them quit. Imagine if you went into the doc and said, I've been abusing this, I'm addicted to smoking cigarettes, whatever, and I want to be healthy. Sorry, get out of my office. That's what healthcare is like in Canada. The free healthcare of which we all pay for. Free my fucking ass. TRT, testosterone, it doesn't replace hard work. It doesn't make you not need to diet or do the cardio, lift the weights. It encourages and reinforces it. It makes hard work feel better. Those days where you dread going to the gym, doing cardio, working, you're going to enjoy it that much more. And once you see the benefits of your efforts, you're going to be encouraged to do it that much more. You're thinking, wow, I'm going to the gym, I'm putting on some muscle, I'm losing some weight, I feel better, I'm sleeping better, sex drives up, wife is happy. You keep building on that momentum, and before you know it, a year has gone by, 2 years gone by, and you're looking back at your old self and thinking, I can't believe I did it. I'm so glad I watched Coach Greg's video because I thought I was just getting old. The doctor said, it's just part of aging. Your sex drives down, you're 50, you're looking a little soft. It's it for you. It's time to settle in, wait for you to retire and lean back and relax. This is the last thing you should do. None of this relax. You're getting older. You need to go even harder. You're 50 now. Perhaps you're 60, 40, whatever. You need to try harder, not less. When you were 20, it was easy. You didn't even go to the gym. You just showed up. You look good. Great. You had a poor diet. You were drinking alcohol. But now you're 40, 50, 60, 70. Way harder. You need to be on point. And so with declining levels of testosterone around 1% each and every year after age of 35, as well as a drop of VO2 max by approximately 1%. What is VO2 max? It's just your cardio, how much your body can use the oxygen in your blood. 1% per year after the age of 35. And so I'm 50, and so I'm already down 15% from my max. 15%. Every year it gets harder. And so why not use testosterone? If you already feel amazing, fantastic, hey, by all means, keep going. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about those who feel sluggish, who can't get a great night of sleep, who have dropped and lost their sex drive. Those of you who are trying to work, you're trying to get better. Why not use HRT? I am. I could stop. I'm sure I would still be, I'd be fine. Probably lose 15 pounds of muscle, but I'd still have enough. I could probably still get by my day. But why do I just want to get by? I want a Lifemax. And so if you're interested in Lifemaxing, click the link in the description and consider Algorex. Please shop around. I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to look at the other prices from other competitors, for example, Merrick Health. And then I want you to say, oh my God, Greg wasn't kidding. He really cares. He wants cheaper prices for all of us. Once you've shopped around, not just one location, look everywhere. And then when Algorex is the cheapest place you could find, with the best doctors, the best company, you can thank me later. You don't even need to thank me. Just keep watching my videos. And of course, if you're younger and you don't need TRT, you can of course get on the Turk Builder Max, the Turk Platinum, and GO2 Max. Don't underestimate how good this is for your cardio. Now, my younger audience, it's not as many of you who care about your cardio, caring about your fitness. It's mostly about the aesthetics. But think of it. If you do more cardio and you get better at it and you burn more calories and you have more energy the rest of the day, you've increased your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, it's going to pay off in dividends. You're going to have a better looking physique with better cardio. You can eat more and you're going to look better and feel better day in and day out. And so why not consider GO2 Max? Code Greg, 15% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Remember, we're looking for HTLT sponsored athletes if you're interested in working with the company, paying you, promoting the brand that you love because you've used my products and you know they're second to none. Click the link in the description and apply today. And don't forget about my coaching from myself and my team. You can apply by clicking the link in the description. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you like it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops, all the things I just said. And until next time, I am out.